December 14, 2014, from the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia. It was the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Atlanta Falcons. The Steelers would win the toss. They elected to receive, and they would start with the ball first. They started off on their own 20. They were then faced with a 2nd and 1 from the 29. Le'Veon Bell ran for 2 yards in the first down that brought the ball to the 31. Roethlisberger then hit Antonio Brown for an 18-yard reception in the first down that brought the ball to midfield at the Pittsburgh 49. Then on 2nd and 9 from the 50, Roethlisberger went to Martavius Bryant. He picked up 14 yards in the first down that brought the ball to the Atlanta 36. Roethlisberger then went to Le'Veon Bell. He picked up 11 yards in the first down that brought the ball to the 25. But their drive would end up stalling on the 20. And out would come Shaun Suisham to attempt a 38-yard field goal. It was up. It was good as the Steelers put the first points on the scoreboard with the score Pittsburgh 3, Atlanta 0. So now the Falcons with the ball for the first time in this game with about 9 minutes left in the first, starting off on their own 20. Then on 3rd and 2 from the 28, Matt Ryan hit Devin Hester for a 5-yard reception and first down that brought the ball to the Atlanta 33. And on 2nd and 1 from the 42, Steven Jackson picked up 12 yards in the first down that brought the ball across midfield and into Pittsburgh territory at the 46. But their drive would stall on the 44, and that's where they would punt it back to the Steelers, who now would take over with 5 minutes on the clock in the first, backed up against their own end zone on their own 8-yard line. Then on 3rd and 2 from the 16, Ben Roethlisberger hit Le'Veon Bell, and he ran it 44 yards for a first down that brought the ball across midfield into the Atlanta 40 for the first down for Pittsburgh. So now on 2nd and 2 on the 32, Ben Roethlisberger went to Wheaton. He picked up 9 yards in the first down that brought the ball to the 23. They would then end up being faced with a 3rd and 17 after Roethlisberger had been sacked on first down by Saloya and Shembo. And so now, after a pass for 10 yards to Antonio Brown, out would come the field goal unit. And a 38-yard field goal attempt was up, and it was good as Shaun Suisham hit his second field goal of the game. And the score was now Pittsburgh 6, Atlanta 0. So now the Falcons would end up getting the ball, as the kickoff actually would be the last play of the first quarter. So after one quarter of play, the score was 6-0 Pittsburgh over Atlanta. So now to open up the second quarter, the Falcons would have the ball on their own 38. It was first down. Matt Ryan dropped back to pass, and he was intercepted by William Gay. And Gay runs it back 52 yards for the pick six and the touchdown to extend the Steelers' lead to 13 with the score Pittsburgh 13, Atlanta 0. So now the Falcons would get the ball for the second time in the second quarter with only 15 seconds ticked off the clock in the second quarter. And so now on 2nd and 8 after starting on the 21, it was on the 23 now, and Matt Ryan hit Douglas for a 9-yard reception, a first down that brought the ball to the 32. Then an interference penalty against the offense would back them up and make it 1st and 20. And they weren't able to end up digging out of that hole, as they would end up having to punt the ball from the 36. And so now the Steelers would take over at midfield on their own 44 with about 11 and a half minutes left before halftime. But they would end up going 3 and out, and they would punt it back to the Falcons. So the Falcons defense comes up with a big stop there. And now with less than 10 minutes left in the second quarter, the Falcons had the ball on their own 15. On 2nd and 8 from the 17, Matt Ryan hit Steven Jackson for an 11-yard reception that made it a first down on the 28. Matt Ryan then went to Roddy White. He picked up 24 on a first down that brought the ball across midfield to the Pittsburgh 48. Then on 2nd and 9 from the 47, Matt Ryan went to Douglas. He picked up 10 yards on the first down that brought the ball to the Pittsburgh 37. Then on 2nd and 8 from the 35, Matt Ryan drops back, and he's sacked by Worldis. And there ended up being a roughing the passer penalty, though. And so instead of an 11-yard loss, it ended up being a first down for the Falcons on the Pittsburgh 21 after the 14-yard roughing the passer penalty. And so then on 3rd and 6 from the 17, Matt Ryan out of the shotgun hits Devin Hester for a 17-yard touchdown pass as the Falcons put their first points on the scoreboard, now trailing by 6 with the score Pittsburgh 13, Atlanta 7. So now the Steelers would get the ball with about 4.5 minutes, a little less than 4.5 minutes left before halftime. They had it on their own 20 to start out the possession. Roethlisberger hit Bryant for a 13-yard pass and a first down at the 33. Then on 3rd and 4 from the 39, Roethlisberger hit Le'Veon Bell for a 5-yard pass and a first down at the 44. They were then faced with a 3rd and 1 on the Atlanta 47. Le'Veon Bell ran for 2 yards and the first down at the 45. Pittsburgh took their second timeout of the first half, so they only had one timeout left with just over a minute on the clock here in the first half, and the ball on the Atlanta 45. Then on 2nd and 3, Roethlisberger hit the tight end Heath Miller for a 9-yard reception and a first down at the 29. And on 2nd and 10 from the 29, Roethlisberger goes to Brown, but it was incomplete, and they ended up actually then reviewing the play and ruling it was complete, and so it was a 28-yard reception. And so now it would be 1st and goal on the 1 for the Steelers, and Le'Veon Bell punched it in from a yard out as the Steelers now extended their lead back to 13 with the score Pittsburgh 20, Atlanta 7. So Falcons got the ball with less than 30 seconds left before halftime. They picked up a first down, but that would be about it as time came to a close. As time ran out and the first half came to a close at the 45. So now at halftime, the score was Pittsburgh 20, Atlanta 7. And to start the second half, the Falcons will get the ball first. They had it on their own 20 to start their first possession of the second half. And on first down, Matt Ryan went to Devin Hester, and he picked up 46 yards as he brought the ball across midfield and into Pittsburgh territory at the 34. Matt Ryan then went to Douglas for a 16-yard pass, and that made a first down in the red zone for the Falcons on the Pittsburgh 18. Then a holding penalty against the Falcons would move them backwards, and they ended up not being able to recover from that as they would end up having to settle for a field goal. And so out would come Matt Bryant to attempt a 28-yarder. It was up. It was good as the Falcons cut the Steelers' lead to 10 with the score Pittsburgh 20, Atlanta 10. So now Pittsburgh would get the ball for the first time in the second half with 11 minutes on the clock. In the third, they had it on their own 26. Le'Veon Bell ran for 11 yards to pick up a first down on the 37. But they weren't able to get another first down, and they would end up punting from the 31. And so now the Falcons with the ball with less than 9 minutes left in the third. They start off on their own 21. They're faced with a 3rd and 7 on the 24. Matt Ryan hit Douglas for a 19-yard pass and a first down at the 43. Steven Jackson then ran for 12 yards as he brought the ball across midfield and into Pittsburgh territory at the 45. Then on 2nd and 4 from the 39, Matt Ryan ended up running for 12 yards and the first down at the 27. Then on 3rd and 2 from the 19, Matt Ryan hit Roddy White for an 8-yard pass and a first down on the 11-yard line. But that's where they would end up not getting another first down. They would end up stalling on the 4-yard line. They actually got up to the 2, but on 2nd and 1 from the 2, Jackson lost a couple yards. And an incomplete pass would bring out Matt Bryant to attempt a 22-yard field goal. It was up. It was good. The Falcons now cut the Steelers' lead to just one touchdown with the score Pittsburgh 7, Atlanta 13. So now the Steelers would take over with less than 3 minutes left in the third. They had the ball on their own 20 to start their possession. Le'Veon Bell then got dropped for a 6-yard loss by Hagman, and so that would make it 2nd and 16. They picked up 15 with a pass from Roethlisberger to Antonio Brown, make it 3rd and 1. And then Bell ran for 2 yards and a first down to the 31. And on first down on the 31, Roethlisberger hit Heath Miller for a 26-yard pass to make it a first down at the Atlanta 43 as the third quarter came to a close. So after 3 quarters of play, the score was Pittsburgh 20, Atlanta 13. So now the Steelers would open up the fourth quarter with a 7-point lead and with the ball on the Atlanta 43 with a first down. And Ben Roethlisberger went to Markus Wheaton and he picked up 30 yards and a first down that brought the ball to the red zone on the Atlanta 13. Le'Veon Bell then ran for 13 yards and the touchdown as the Steelers extended their lead to 14 points with the score now Pittsburgh 27, Atlanta 13. So now the Falcons would take over with about 14 minutes left in the fourth quarter, trailing by 14 points with the ball on the 16. They would then be faced with a 3rd and 3 from the 23. Matt Ryan then picked up a first down with a 12-yard run that brought the ball to the Atlanta 35. Then on 2nd and 10 from the 35, Matt Ryan hit Douglas for a 13-yard pass in the first down that brought the ball to the 48. Then on 2nd and 10 from the 48, Matt Ryan went back to Douglas, this time for a 41-yard pass. And that made it a first down in the red zone on the Pittsburgh 11. So then they would be faced with a 3rd and 3 from the 4. And Matt Ryan hit Roddy White for the 4-yard touchdown pass that brought the game back to within 7 points with the score Pittsburgh 27, Atlanta 20. So now the Steelers would get the ball with a little over 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter with the 7-point lead and the ball on their own 18. Roethlisberger then went to Antonio Brown for a 12-yard reception and a first down at the 30. They would then be faced with a 3rd and 7 on the 33, and Ben Roethlisberger hit Wheaton for a 13-yard reception and a first down at the 46. But that's where their drive would stall. A short run by Bell on first down and a pair of incomplete passes would bring out the punting unit to punt from the 47 on 4th and 9. So now the Falcons would get the ball with a little less than 6.5 minutes, trailing by 7, with the ball on the 17, their own 17. But they were unable to pick up a first down as they went 3 and out as the Pittsburgh Steelers came up with a huge defensive stop and forced the punt. And so now the Steelers would take over, still up by 7, with the ball on their own 30 with only 4.5 minutes left in the fourth. They were then faced with a 3rd and 4 on the 36. Roethlisberger went to Bell, who was incomplete, but an illegal contact penalty against the Falcons would make it a first down for the Steelers on their own 41. Then on 2nd and 8 from the 43, Roethlisberger hit Antonio Brown for a 9-yard reception and a first down at the 48. The Falcons then took their second timeout, and they only had one timeout remaining in this game. And now it was a first down on the 48 for the Steelers on the Atlanta 48. With less than 3 minutes on the clock, Le'Veon Bell then ran for 4 yards, and the Falcons took their final timeout. So no timeouts left for the Falcons. It was 2nd and 6 on the 44. Roethlisberger went back to Le'Veon Bell. He picked up 5 yards, and this game went to the 2-minute warning. So now it's 3rd and 1 on the 39 at the 2-minute warning. And the Falcons needed a stop here. They had no timeouts left. If they could stop them, they would force the punt. If they couldn't, this game would be all but over. And on 3rd and 1 from the 39, Ben Roethlisberger trots back, scrambles around. He hit Heath Miller for a 25-yard reception and the first down in the red zone on the Atlanta 14. And so at this point, all that was left to do for the Steelers was for Big Ben to take a pair of knees, and this game came to a close. So the final score in this one, Pittsburgh 27, Atlanta 20. As the Steelers hold on to win a late comeback attempt by the Falcons. And with the win, the Steelers are now 9-5. The Bengals had won earlier, so the Steelers still trail them by a half a game in the AFC North. And with the loss, the Falcons are now going to have to wait and see what happens on Monday Night Football with the Saints. If the Saints win, they'll be in first place. If the Saints lose, they'll still be tied there in the NFC South, the division that nobody wants to win, apparently. But in this game, Big Ben Roethlisberger was 27 for 35. He had 360 yards passing. He also had -2 yards off of 2 carries. Matt Ryan was 26 for 37 with 310 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. And he had 27 yards rushing off of 3 carries. The leading rusher in this game was Le'Veon Bell. He had 20 carries for 47 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also had 72 yards receiving off of 5 receptions. Steven Jackson was the leading rusher for the Falcons. He had just 1 less yard than Le'Veon Bell on the ground and almost twice as many yards per average because he had 11 carries for 46 yards. He also had 11 yards off of 1 reception. The leading receiver in this game was for the Falcons. Harry Douglas had 10 receptions for 131 yards. The leading receiver for the Steelers was Antonio Brown with 10 receptions for 123 yards. And Heath Miller, of course, had 68 yards off of 4 receptions. Wheaton had 66 yards off of 5 receptions. And Bryant had 31 yards off of 3 receptions. And for the Falcons, Devin Hester had 5 receptions for 85 yards. And Roddy White had 7 receptions for 58 yards. And they each had a touchdown. And on defense, the leading tackler in this game was actually Paul Warlow of the Falcons. He had 11 tackles. Ishmael had 9 tackles. For the Steelers, their leading tackler was a two-way tie between William Gay and Antoine Blake. They each had 8 tackles. There was no sacks for the Steelers. There was 1 sack in this game for the Falcons. That split sack there from Solea and Shembo, each having a half a sack. And the game's lone interception was that pick 6 by William Gay. And that ended up being the difference in this game, that defensive touchdown, as he ran it back 52 yards all the way for the score. That was back in the second quarter, and that made it 13-0. And that was a deficit the Falcons never were able to recover from, as they never led at any point in this game. So the final score, Steelers 27, Falcons 20.